Today we're back at the sawmill. We're working on cutting some 1x4 material to finish this shed. You can see here we got started last week. We got some reclaimed windows from a house that was getting new windows, so we saved the old ones. We cut some 1x4 material. What we're doing is kind of covering in the end of the shed. So we kind of got what I'm calling our tool room, so we can keep our extra bands, tools, chainsaw, that kind of stuff out of the weather and closed in a little bit better. Plus, you know, we got the cover over top of the mill. We were able to get the rest of the shed built, tin on and everything like that. So we're gonna set the sawmill up and cut some more 1x4s. Here's the first log that we're gonna saw. This is some cottonwood that was saved. The tree was kind of dying out a little bit. It needed to be put out of the way, so I thought, well, cut some material out of it and see what we can make. So as you can see here, I had this set up where the first slab cut's gonna be, and we have from the blade down just a little bit more than 13 inches. So I'm gonna preface this by saying that I am an amateur sawyer. I'm not a professional, so just take what I'm saying with a little bit of, grain of salt here, but this is the way that I'm doing it for reasons I'm gonna show you here. So what we want is 1x4s. So what we're gonna do is cut a 4-inch piece out of here. So we're gonna measure 4 inches down after we make this cut and cut this across. What I'm gonna do is leave live edge on both sides. The reason I'm doing that is typically you might see someone maybe at least 3-side this first. Well, if you take this slab cut off of here, you're gonna end up losing this material. So what I'm gonna try to do is catch maybe an extra board off each side. And with this mill, it's just easier to do it that way instead of trying to reclaim some of them slabs. I mean, we don't have an edger, we don't have a resaw, so I'm trying to make the most material out of what we have here. So we're gonna make our slab cut, and then we're gonna go 4 inches down, make the cut, we're gonna throw that to the side, and then since we have 13 inches down, we're gonna try to have 1, 2, 3 4-inch wide pieces, and then we're gonna flip them all up and start, take a slab cut off the top and cut 1-inch material to see how much we can end up with at the end of the day. I was a little overly optimistic on what I could get with that first slab cut. So this is one of the things, as like a homeowner model, and I'm cutting stuff for myself, I might waste a couple cuts trying to get the most material out of this log as you can. So as you can see on the top, we started here okay, and there just wasn't much left because of the taper of the log. So what we're gonna do is have to set it back down, make another cut for the top of that first 4-inch wide board that we're gonna cut. So if you're doing it this way, trying to get the most material, you might take a little extra time. You're not doing it for money. Maybe you want to speed up your production. If you're doing it for money, you would take those extra wasted cuts. But that's what we're doing here. So we're going to reset and cut another slab. One of the tips I found for this Woodland Mills sawmill, since it discharges the sawdust on the opposite side of where you operate, it really can make a big mess over here. You're coming back, you're sweeping it out or shoveling it out. So one of the tips I saw was to hang a 5-gallon bucket, which collects all the sawdust. So all I did was go on Amazon and buy some of these heavy-duty magnetic hooks, and I really didn't want to drill a tap or bolt into the metal. So I got these heavy-duty magnetic hooks, and it's just a regular standard 5-gallon bucket. You just angle it on there, drop it in. The only downside to this, maybe if you had a bigger bucket, 6-7-gallon bucket, it would keep you from making the trips. So keep an eye on it. You make a few passes, just dump it out, whether you're saving the stuff or throwing it, kind of filling in lowland spots. This is a pretty good tip for cleanup at the end of the day. Okay, we had our first 4-inch piece that we cut off. After we measured again, taking that thicker slab than what I originally anticipated, and measuring where I figure I'm going to have the first slab, we're not going to quite have 8 inches left. With the kerf, we're going to be closer to 7. So what we're going to end up doing is taking this first slab, we're going to measure down so we have 4 inches of material left. So we're going to have about a 3-inch piece left, which is still going to be fine if they're 1x3s. You know, we're using this as kind of a siding, so on the back side, that'll be fine. But just kind of keep an eye on your material. Well, my original plan, I hope to have 3 4-inch pieces, but with the thickness of the slab, you know, we got to use what we can. So the middle section of this log, you know, we really want our thickest material so we can use up all the way side to side. So we're going to take another slab cut off the top, measure up our 4 inches, make that cut, put it to the side, and we'll flip these up and start cutting our 1x4s. I had mentioned before on why I left this live edge on both sides, and here's going to be an example, and I'm going to show you why. Had I 3-sided the whole log, you know, this would be flat, and I would have lost all this material. So with the way we're doing the shed, we need shorter boards to go underneath the window. So the way I have set up right now, that first cut for the slab cut is probably going to end somewhere in here. But we're still going to end up with a chunk of material that's probably 6 feet long. So even though that's not the full length, that's still something that we can use. So that was one of the reasons why I was trying to make, why I was doing the cuts this way, so I could keep as much material as I can. So you'll see we'll make that first slab cut and the next 1-inch board, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, we're all wrapped up with the log that we started with. You can see the lumber that we have left. I hope for a little bit more, but this is what we got. We're gonna take the time now, cut this material up to use for the walls on our shed to kind of see where we sit and how much more material we're gonna have to cut for this project. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, share it too if you want, and stay tuned for more videos. We got a bunch more projects coming up this spring. All right, we're all wrapped up with the log that we started with. You can see the lumber that we have left. I hope for a little bit more, but this is what we got. We're gonna take the time now, cut this material up to use for the walls on our shed to kind of see where we sit and how much more material we're gonna have to cut for this project. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, share it too if you want, and stay tuned for more videos. We got a bunch more projects coming up this spring.